Oh my goodness. We're alive? What? Let's get it.
Welcome to FIFA World Cup Weekly with Brandon Keeler and John McDaniel.
Okay, that was actually pretty awesome. I dig that intro. Thanks to our guy, Matt, for creating that. Yes, you are getting the chance to watch us again. And I'm so excited. I am teaming up with my guy, John, and my guy, Cole. Oh my God, y'all. Welcome to the first ever Sportz Nutz World Cup Recap. Hey, real quick, special shout out to everybody who's tuning in live at 95.5 KFCE, TigerNation.live, 610 AM The Animal in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the other now 11 radio stations. Yes, it's a 12 total, but 11 right now. And also, thank you to our international audience. We are going to be airing in a total of 52 countries. So that really does mean a lot to us that you guys are tuning in to us. But also, if you happen to live in the island of Hawaii, more specifically on Oahu, and you are looking for someone to do your catering events for your graduation, which is coming to an end, obviously, but family outings, 4th of July celebrations, whatever, and you need someone to talk to, send me a message, Brandon Keeler on radio at gmail.com. And I'll get you in touch with our good friend Bobby at Kalama's Cuisine that is based in Hawaii. Oh my goodness, John, man, it is so good to see you, brother. Oh, how are you doing, man? And welcome to our first ever tag team episode, man. How are you doing?
Brother, I am excellent. The vibes are high. World Cup is here, man. And it has been excellent so far. I'm doing good, man.
Oh yeah, and then look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys saw this gentleman right here is a man of many hats. He's literally all over the place, but I had the privilege of being on his show, him and Jordan's and Luke show. Flagland's like really good guys, but my man Cole though, dude, what is going on with you, brother? How are you doing, man?
What's going on, gentlemen? I'm doing great. The World Cup is in full swing, and for every 4 years, I get in an absolute soccer craze or football because we're airing in different countries. But I'm stoked to be here, and I'm the first guest, so you can't ever take that away from me.
Absolutely, and we got it. We are so beyond excited for that. But John, first off, dude, these matchups, man, I gave a shout out onto the show actually on Tuesday. I gave a shout out to the USA for what they did. They did something absolutely phenomenal. You and myself were talking left and right. Cole was even with me on this texting, and we were treated, y'all, to it was like a holy moly moment for the for men's USA national soccer team. I mean, John, give us a quick summary of everything so people can kind of get an idea. And again, if they've missed it, they've been living under a rock, but kind of let everybody know, you give a summary basically of what happened with America.
Oh, brother, it was in Los Angeles. We were one of the first teams to play in this World Cup. People were picking the United States to maybe draw with Paraguay. This is a team in Paraguay that in CONMEBOL had only allowed, CONMEBOL being the South America region for those who don't know, they only allowed 3 total goals in CONMEBOL qualifying. So they are a really good defensive team. They are well structured. Their coach is good at tactics. The U.S. came into this with a couple of good friendlies against Germany and Senegal, both, of course, who qualified for the World Cup. And so, there was some thoughts that maybe the U.S. could do something, but no one really, including myself, really thought, oh, maybe this could translate. I did pick them to go to the round 16, but, you never know because it's U.S. soccer. and we got treated to the performance, not just like of this World Cup, of probably the entire U.S. men's national team's existence. This is the first time in a World Cup, Brandon, that the U.S. has scored more than three goals in a World Cup game. Like, and not only that, we have had someone score a brace and Florian Balogun. We had Gio Reyna scoring a goal with a Trivela shot that was just perfectly placed. We dominated this game, and this was probably the sexiest ball I've ever seen the United States play, and probably ever will see the United States play. It was just a treat. You saw the United States tactically undo Paraguay. Paraguay made Paraguay look worse than South Africa.
They'd never been there before in the first place. It was amazing.
Yeah, it really was, because we are not used to, the United States tactically outdoing someone. Greg Berhalter, our previous coach, was not known for tactically undoing someone. It was basically just, we'll scrap a goal by you eventually. No, this was we got these tactics spot on. Paraguay's coach even said that it was a tactical masterclass by Mauricio Pochettino. And the only thing wrong was that Christian Pulisic got a minor injury out of this game. So if you had told me coming into this game that we were going to win 4-1, and the goal that we conceded was kind of out of nowhere, and otherwise we played very solidly on both sides of the pitch, I would have happily taken that. And it's given so much optimism, as we're going to talk about later, I'm sure, with the United States and how their future prospects might look at this tournament.
Oh, I know. And Cole, what was your overall impressions of everything? I mean, and obviously, you and I, we had that conversation, and John had to he had to calm me down, because I was like, "What? No way, that was disallowed goal." But it was offsides. It's that ABS system they have for soccer. But what was your overall impressions of the first match you saw for America?
Oh, I was watching that game. Dan and Shay with a chef's kiss national anthem. I get chills every time I see it.
I got emotional. My God.
And after that first goal, who was scored first? Balogun, right? Scored first.
Yep.
Oh, after that first Balogun goal, all I could hear in my head was, "My daddy served in the army."
I love it.
Blowing over me, dude. I am all over this Team USA. Berhalter was absolute buns. I said it for years. I said it during the 2022 World Cup. He could not outcoach a high school varsity team in soccer. We got Poch. Poch is the absolute man. Balogun is awesome. Pulisic is Captain America. I personally am high on Gio Reyna. I think he's good, but bro just needs to lock in. Tyler Adams is a dog. Who was that guy? Dest. That Dest dude was pretty solid.
Yeah, he came through a lot of injuries, and he looked like he had never missed a beat.
Yeah. Yep. So I've never seen this keeper play before. A little hand up, casual talk right there. I've never seen our keeper play before. I'm used to Matt Turner back there, but keeper looked good in my opinion. So Australia was the team I was least concerned about heading into it. But after seeing them dismantle Turkey, like we'll get into, I'm sure, later, I don't know if this is a must win or a can't lose yet. I haven't decided, but we got to do something.
It's a coin toss. It really is. Heads yes and tails no kind of thing.
There's a difference, Brandon. There's a difference between a must win and a can't lose.
That's true. That is very true. Boy, is that ever true in every world of sport. There's those games that you can, it's okay to skate by. And then there's things you better not lose no matter what. If you want to have a chance to go home, don't you dare lose. They're going to kick you out. It's a very real thing. So John, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to talk about power rankings and the stocks up, down, which has the better one. And I want you guys to give me I want you to give me your top 10. Give me your stock markets, which goes up, which goes down, which ones are laughing stocks. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament as well. Any surprises that we may have. Also, this one's from John. It is the third place tracker. Sorry, my dog's in the way. We literally, I can't read all this because it's so much to talk about, but we have a lot of things to fill in. And John has graciously enough built this amazing rundown. So it's going to actually start with you, John. John, give us your top 10 teams. I want you to first off tell me who is your number one And then also, who are you saying is the ceiling, and who do you think is on the floor right now?
Well, Brandon, I think we saw yesterday. France is clearly the number one team in this tournament. There is no way, unless you are an absolute behemoth, that you are going to stop France's attack for 90 straight minutes. Senegal thought they were going to after the first 45 minutes. They had chances they could have put France away early, but man, once this French attack gets going, there's no way you're going to stop Kylian Mbappe, Michael Olise, and then you get Ousmane Dembele on the other wing from Kylian Mbappe. It's game over, really. And then when Elise is pulling the strings like he did yesterday, no way is France going to be stopped, in my opinion. I really was so impressed by that second half from France. And then, of course, you have right behind them is Argentina. I think we all saw the magnificent display from Lionel Messi yesterday. Scores his first ever World Cup hat trick of his career. And he ties the all-time World Cup scoring record set by Klose of Germany. It's just, and when you score 16 World Cup goals, you've done something right. And Lionel Messi is truly, we saw a special show last night that we're probably not going to see again from a player of that caliber for some time. As far as being on the floor, I think we have a couple of clear floor teams we saw over the last week of the World Cup, because today is officially the 7th day. And that would be South Africa, who put up an embarrassment on opening day of the World Cup against
Would
Mexico.
they ever? They forgot to show up is what they did.
So, yeah, they need to just burn the tape, forget about it. And then Tunisia. If you have not kept track of what Tunisia did, you're missing out, because it's like a pure soap opera over there. They lost to Sweden 5-1. Sweden, by the way, did not qualify and win a single match in qualifying in Europe. They had to go through the playoff, and they won through the playoff and got to the World Cup. But they did not win a single match before that playoff round. And then, not only did they lose 5-1, they sacked the manager the morning after.
Yeah, that was interesting how that happened.
Yeah.
They packed them up over the first game. That's crazy.
I texted John. I was like, "What is this?" And he goes, "Well, it serves them right, because they basically stunk up the joint. I mean, they were like, don't even worry about getting on the bus. We're going to give you the slip as you're walking out of the stadium. You're not coming back." That's
Exactly
kind of what it was.
John Gruden treatment.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
crazy because they hired this guy to improve the attack of Tunisia, and obviously that did not work out against Sweden. And I would say partially it's not his fault. They had to run into the buzzsaw that is Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres in game 1. But yeah, it was just an embarrassment, and Tunisia just really did not show up. We've seen a lot of good performances from teams that we would not have expected to perform well, but those were the teams that just absolutely stunk up the joint so far in the World Cup.
Well, Cole, I mentioned this too on your show. You have that winners and losers, and one thing we mentioned about was literally the smallest of the smallest nations imaginable. They did the thing against Spain. I mean, tip your caps. Seriously, you guys have got to tip your caps to the smallest team. And I say this a lot. I got to quote you, Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson, all that. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And I mean, they came out guns a-blazing. Hopefully it doesn't bite them in the backside and they regret it, because this team is a perennial powerhouse. They're fast. And you have this little tiny nation, and they hung tough. That can be the number one thing happens there is fatigue. You can see fatigue happen with anybody. And then it was good while it lasts, is the kind of saying they stand there,
Well, I want to shout out one person in particular that has already gotten a ton of attention because of this performance, and that's the 40-year-old goalkeeper for Cape Verde, Vizinha. This guy played a blinder. Brandon, he had to wait 15 years to get his call up to the team. He was a bus driver before he got this call up. And he comes in and absolutely pulls off the game of his life and becomes the oldest guy to ever record a clean sheet in the World Cup.
I love
So
it.
in his World Cup debut, he pulls that off. Like, how are you going to top that?
Exactly. And this is from the Birchwood Vampire said, honestly, Cape Verde may have already won their World Cup. That is true. A lot of
Yeah.
small nations, this is like their Super Bowl. This literally is. And then you get to hang tough with a big boy for the entire length of a match. Yeah, you didn't score a goal, but you hung tough and you didn't give up a win. You drew. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to really tip your cap. I mean, there's so many positives to look at this and, and prepare for the future.
And Brandon, this not only is just a positive for that match, this is now the knockouts are on the table for Cape Verde. They have the possibility, if they can get a win somehow in this group, and it's possible, if they get a win somehow, they are more than likely, if you get 4 to 6 points, you are more than likely, I think it's 90% chance that when you get 4 points, you are advancing to the knockouts. So, it's crazy, but like we would never have thought that the third smallest nation who has never played a World Cup match before would be doing this. But the knockouts are right on the table, and they have a chance to take advantage of it. What a special moment that would be, not just for the world of sports, but for a nation that is the third smallest ever to qualify for this tournament.
Well, who in your eyes, John, is too high on the totem pole right now for that people are, they're buying into the Kool-Aid kind of thing, and it's all for naught.
I think people need to start cooling off on Brazil. I really do. Brazil is a team that we are historically used to dominating the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
We all remember, Thiago Silva in his prime. Neymar still is around. We're used to a lot of these generational talents that come from Brazil and are really good. This Brazil team is not that team anymore. Brandon, this is a team that's comprised of individuals and not a team. Um, they came into this match against Morocco, in the opening stage of the group stage, and they had the Vinny Jr. strike, which is an incredible goal. Don't get me wrong, but after that, it was boring. I don't know how else to describe that match, but boring in the second half, and that should not have been the case. This is a
No.
Morocco team that made the semifinals last World Cup, a Brazil team that has all the talent in the world. They are one of the top teams in the World Cup in terms of all-time trophies accumulated at this tournament, and yet they rely on their prestige and their history and their aura to scare you. That's not happening anymore because Morocco took it to them for the first 30 minutes, and it looked like Morocco was going to run away with that game until Vinny Jr. got the equalizer. So, and yes, Vinny Jr. is a one-on-one talent, but you can't rely on Vinny Jr. to do all your heavy lifting for you.
Nope.
So, yeah,
relying on one person to do the whole thing. This is why the term team. It's not me, I. It's team.
Yeah, and honestly, we saw that even today, Brandon. Portugal, for crying out loud. Cristiano Ronaldo. He is one of the all-time greats. It's always been a debate between him and Messi, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Portugal team today looked like they were just a team of individuals again and not a team. And DR Congo made them pay for it. DR Congo had the game of their life and scored their first ever World Cup goal and got their first ever World Cup point because of it. And so it's a very similar situation. And you just see that if you come into a game with that mentality in the World Cup, you are going to be punished.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts, Cole? Who to you is already peaked? And yeah, we're still in this young version of it. Who do you think is already peaked? Who do you think we should get off the high horse with already and have them come back down to reality?
I mean, I know this has been the tournament of the underdog. I'm looking at make sure I don't miss anybody, but I mean, I think Germany gets a little too much hype.
Good call.
I think they're very similar to what John was saying about Brazil, where like they use their aura and their history to scare you more than their actual like talent. So I think that team is one. I'm not saying they're a bad team. Don't get me wrong. Like they're gonna advance, whatnot. I'm not saying they're getting grouped, but like I don't think they deserve to be talked about like they're gonna make a run. They might win one knockout, but I don't think this Germany team is anything like they were in their past. And then a team I feel like always gets slept on, but for some reason just always pushes through is Netherlands. I feel like with Captain Virgil
Oh,
van
come on.
Dijk,
I love their fans, though. Come on. Those are the best fans.
that's what I'm saying though. Like I feel like Netherlands like is always just under the radar every time, and I'm just like, dude, the last 2 times, correct me if I'm wrong, they got eliminated in penalty kicks, like deep in the tournament. So
Round of 16
I feel like
last World Cup.
that's what I'm saying. So I feel like Netherlands can make another run.
They
I like the
absolutely
Netherlands
can.
fans.
They
I think
absolutely can. They had a
anybody
great
can win, though, John. You know this. Anybody can win at any given time, too.
yeah, they had a great game against Japan on Sunday.
Yep.
That was
And
one of
you
the
mentioned
games of
that,
the
too.
tournament so far. I want to go back to Germany real quick. They did
Mhm.
have a blinder of a game against Curacao. And yes, it's Curacao. Let's be clear. As much as I wanted to root for Curacao to win, as much as I would love to see that equalizer go in for Curacao, you knew Germany was going to flex their muscles. They did. They had to, or else they were going to get absolutely creamed in the German press. And they flexed their muscles. I want to see them play a good team because
Bingo.
when they've played a good team, you know, they've not always been their best in recent years. So, I mean, just look at last World Cup. They got grouped by the likes of Japan. So, and Japan is my dark horse for this tournament. Yeah, you can't sleep on Japan, in my opinion. So, but yeah, Germany is someone that also probably can't be too hyped up after a 7-1 win over Curacao.
Just a that's
I
more
do have a couple other teams I
collective.
want to shout out that I think are better than what we've seen so far. Belgium, it might be because Kevin De Bruyne is on that team, but I mean Belgium they made 3rd place. What was it? Not 2022, but 2018, right? That's when they got their 3rd place. Yeah, they got 3rd
Yes.
place in 2018. I know they don't have Hazard anymore, but like Lukaku's still there, KDB's still doing his thing, Courtois is still good. Like I like Belgium. Like I said, I don't think they're going to go on this deep magical run, but I wouldn't be shocked if they win a knockout game. And then Croatia. I mean, I
I
know
was
they
waiting to see when you
literally
guys were mentioned Croatia because
I know they literally just lost
Yes.
to England today, and this isn't an England take. This is a Croatia take. Like Croatia is gonna bounce back from this. I mean, I just pulled their group up. They still have Ghana and Panama. That's 2. I gotta say they're gonna at least win one of those. I think they can probably win them both. They're gonna get through. It's just England is just that dang good this year. But Croatia, they're going to be a team that you draw in the knockouts and you're going to go F asterisk asterisk K. Like it's not going to be a good day when you draw Croatia in the first round of the knockouts.
Yeah, Croatia is
I
always a
that.
good shout. They are a never say die team. They always are right there, and you
They
can
like
never
to make it
count them out.
interesting.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you saw 8 years ago when they made the final. This was it. I mean, literally, that was their mantra: never say die. They made it to the final, literally through penalty kicks in 3 straight games. So and that was against the likes of Brazil in one of those games too, and England too. So it's a very they're a good shout, Cole. I want to push back on Belgium a bit though. Belgium is a young team. Kevin De Bruyne is not who he used to be. Unfortunately, he is one of the best all-time assist kings, no doubt about it. But Lukaku, to me, you know, um, Lukaku to me, he influenced the own goal that helped Belgium escape with the point. If you're struggling with Egypt, though, I have some questions, and the way their attack only was able to get a goal is through a very lucky deflection off of a Egyptian defender. I really want to see them do something more in the second game.
That's fair. Like I said, it might just be the homer in me because I'm a big KDB fan.
Can I say
Fair,
something with you guys? I gotta tip my cap to you guys. I can't pronounce one bit of these people's names at times. I can pronunciate, Polynesian and Indonesian and Micronesian and all the Pacific Rim names. Dadgum, I can't. I cannot pronunciate what these names are, and I'm seriously giving you guys a round of applause on that one. Of course, John is, and Cole will tell you, John Cole will tell you this too. Oh my goodness, Brandon, can we talk much? Cole, John will tell you this. He will ask me, what is this person's name? And they're with Samoa, American Samoa, and all that stuff. I can tell you right away, not these guys in soccer. And I dig what you guys are talking about. So I'm actually going to ask you first, Cole, on this one. What top 3 teams stocks are on the rise? And same thing with which top 3 are on the downfall in your eyes?
So I'm going to start with the negative first. I mean, I think the downfall is pretty obvious, the first 2. I mean, we already kind of touched base, so I won't go too deep into it. But I think Brazil, obviously, stocks down right now because they came out pretty flat, in my opinion. And then, obviously, the other one is Spain. Spain stocks down. Now, I know 2 of their best players were injured and got subbed on late in that game. But, Spain was good enough. Their whole backup team should have been able to win that game. So I think those are the easiest stock downs right now. And I also got to say, after today, too, I'm not buying what Portugal's selling. I thought for sure they were going to get through this group no problem. But if, John, correct me how to pronounce this, Uzbekistan, if they live up to what you've been talking about them, Portugal might get grouped if they keep playing.
I know, right? I was going to say, because John had, every time he's come on my show, he's always said, Uzbekistan is the team to watch. And now is the chance to do it. They play tonight.
Yep.
You got to buy into the Kool-Aid. But let me ask you the same question then too, John. We heard Cole. He gave us his 3 down. Give me your 3 down. And then Cole, I'm going to go back to you to give me your 3 up, okay? So, John, give me your 3 down.
I honestly, Brandon, I concur with Cole on the Brazil and Spain. Cole can tell you, I sent him a full-page essay on how I was so frustrated with Spain's attack.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I literally was explaining. I literally could have pulled out a tactical board and drawn up exactly what they were doing.
I actually learned a lot from that.
Because all they were doing was just standing in a line. You could just see they were standing in the line and waiting for something to happen. And the most frustrating part, they have a beautiful through ball that could have split the defense open. The guy's just flat-footed, and he only runs as soon as it's about 10 yards ahead of him and goes out of bounds. I just was about to lose it. If I'm the Spanish manager, whoever is on that front line is getting a good talking to, and they need to adjust something, because that's not on the manager to execute the plays. It is on the players to execute, and they did not. I also want to shout out the one that hasn't been talked about, Switzerland. Switzerland came into their game against Qatar very heavy favorites. This was a team that has Granit Xhaka. They have a Kanji on their defensive end, and they looked complacent as all get out. Qatar's not a complete shove out either. They are 2-time defending Asian champions, so they know how to play some soccer. They know how to play some footy, and so they weren't playing great in this game. Switzerland should have been up 3-0 before the equalizer happened, but they weren't, and because they were complacent, because they thought they were going to win, they let Qatar equalize on them deep in the second half stoppage time. And honestly, that could cost them the group, because guess who also was in that group? Sweden. Sweden is in that group, and you're facing Isak and Gyökeres. So yeah, I'm very frustrated with Switzerland. I think they are definitely on the way down. Yeah.
Let us know how you really feel, John. So let's go to you, Cole. I want you to give me your 3 that are on the rise.
So my 3 that are on the rise, the first one is Norway. I mean, Erling Haaland might be the best striker in the world. I personally think he is. I think he's number 1. I mean, you can talk me into a couple other people, but I mean, Holland, if you just play average defense and just give that dude a clear line of sight on goal, I mean, Norway is going to be a tough out. And this is his first time playing in the World Cup. Norway hasn't really been in there. So this was his first chance to prove it. And I think everyone saw it and was like, oh, Norway's here. So they're not going to be an easy out for anybody. My second one actually was literally earlier from today. So sorry I forget which one of you in the comments is rooting for England, but I usually compare England to the Mets. Okay. Every year, it's coming home. No, it's not. Okay. They have all the talent in the world. And for some reason or another, it never goes home, but they showed up and they showed out today against a scrappy Croatia team. And I just think they looked better than what was anticipated. Like, I thought it was going to be the same thing as before, where it's going to be same old England, not looking very good. They looked pretty flashy today. So I'm going to say they're on the rise. I know they were a favorite in one of like the most known countries for winning World Cups and or doing good in World Cups or whatnot. But I don't know. It just felt to me like after watching, I was like, oh, England looks better than I thought they were going to. And then the last one, I mean, I'll take the layup. USA. I feel like there's no team in the World Cup right now that has the stock gone up more through one game played than USA. I mean, everyone thought we were going to barely tie Paraguay, and we whooped their rear ends. I mean, everyone's just buzzing about the USA right now, and everyone's like, oh, it's just Paraguay. What about, oh, it's just Cape Verde? What about, it's just Bosnia? Like, these teams are getting draws, and we whooped up on Paraguay. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're winning it all, but we look a heck of a lot better than we did before. So I don't know any team that could have a higher stock increase than USA right now.
John said the same thing to me. Like, after that second goal happened, he was like, this is interesting. And then the third goal comes and he goes, they're playing some sexy ball. This is the spiciest I've ever seen them. And this is the team we have deserved from day one. And I mean, and then when it was the creme de la creme, of course, when that one goal, oh my God, John, I guarantee you probably heard me and Cole from all the way over there to here saying, how was that not a goal? Even my wife, who doesn't watch soccer to save her life, she goes, what happened? And I was like, they're saying he was offside. She goes, what? And I was like, it's kind of like hockey a little bit, where you have to be in a certain zone and to go out there. And she goes, you're speaking foreign language to me. I love my wife to death, but that was definitely one of the best comments right there. I definitely want to tip my cap though, like with you as well. They mentioned Colt to Holland. I mean, to the Netherlands in general, not just because they have absolutely insanely amazing fans. But just it's that never quit mentality. I like that with a lot of teams when they don't quit. Go back to Cape Verde. They didn't quit. They had that. I don't give a darn that you're David and we're Goliath, or that you're Goliath and we're David, and we're going to still challenge you. And I dig. And John will tell you this too. I'm a big small ball fan. Meaning the smaller teams, they do it better. They really do it better. And that transitions to you, John. I want you to give me your 3 stocks that are rising. Obviously, Cole kind of stole mine a little bit with America because it mattered. I mean, how could you not though? After game 1, I mean, they literally looked like that they've been there this whole time. They looked like they were not ducks out of water. They knew exactly what they were doing, who they were going to attack, how they were going to attack. They were going to be this way. They were going to be fast. So definitely, that's always gonna be to me. That's number 1. That's Cole would mention that too. But give me your 3s, John. Oh my God.
Well, I want to also shout out. I want to go back to Cape Verde real quick, because I mean, how could you not say that someone's stock has risen more than when your 40-year-old goalkeeper has around 4.5 million Instagram followers now because of one game. So
I can have that many followers.
I think he has 9 million followers now. Last time I checked.
Yeah, and literally, like, it's incredible aura. I want to shout out Ivory Coast. You talked about a team that wouldn't give up. They were playing in a 0-0 match with a team in Ecuador who everyone thought was a sleeper to maybe go on a deep run in this World Cup. Ivory Coast has a player, and we're going to talk about him later, but man, Ivory Coast, they have Amad Diallo, who is a wonder kid for Manchester United. They are an aggressive team. They are very fun to watch, and they beat Ecuador on Sunday. It was a very impressive performance. I was so impressed, and I think they took a huge stock up for me because how well they played. Yan Diamande is the truth, and yes, we're going to get back to him in a bit. But yeah, I was so impressed with Ivory Coast, and then I have to agree, USA is also up there. Um, you want to know though, even though they didn't win, Haiti rose up on my stock.
Really?
Um,
Yeah, they played a good game.
Yeah, for the fact that
That
they
game
have
against
been there so
Scotland was
long too.
electric, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, this is a team that pretty much held 90% possession in the last 30 minutes of that game. They had Scotland on the ropes and probably should have scored a couple of times. And if you know the history of Haiti, if you know what these players have been through, I would highly recommend checking out Zealand's Hidden Grounds episode on this Haiti team. It's a very good way to get to know these Haitian players and what they've been through. But you have so much respect because they haven't been to the World Cup in 19 years. It didn't matter that they lost 1-0. They were going to play their hearts out, and they were going to show that they had arrived. And I was so impressed. Also, Australia also. Like, I knew they were probably going to win the game against Turkey, but man, the way they did it was so impressive. And Wesley Irakunda, that guy is the truth as well. So
I like that. All right, so I want to so I'm going to switch it up. Talk about this thing called the Golden Boot watch that John says. Okay, I want to start with you, John. I want you to give us all your information about this. Go ahead, man.
okay, so as of today, we have our Golden Boot leader in Lionel Messi because he scored a hat trick. So this is a guy in Lionel Messi, of course, who's the GOAT. And then there's a ton of others that are tied at 2. That includes Holland. That includes Mbappe. But it also has some surprising ones. That includes Florian Balogun that we talked about.
Yes,
That
sir.
um, includes Ayare from Sweden, who could have played for Tunisia because his father is Tunisian, but his father encouraged him to play for Sweden, and he did. And he scored 2 goals in that 5-1 whooping of Tunisia. And also, we had, I want to shout this guy out because I loved watching him play. If you didn't watch Iran versus New Zealand, I'm sorry, but you missed out on an incredible game. Elijah Just for New Zealand. This
Yes.
guy's electric. I don't know how else to put it. The guy was making space for himself. Chris Wood was able to give him a peach of a goal, and the guy showed out. I was very impressed with him. So watch out for Elijah Just of New Zealand. They got a point, and they are now, of course, right in the mix in a group that has all 1 point in Belgium and Egypt's group. So they're more than capable, I think, of giving Belgium and Egypt some problems. So watch out for Elijah Just in the Golden Boot race.
All right, give me yours, Cole.
Which part?
All of it. Sorry, I have my mic muted because I have my kids running around. I apologize.
No, good. So, I mean, the Golden Boot, I mean, I personally think Mbappe's going to win it. I wouldn't be shocked if Messi wins it if they make a deep run. Holland, I don't think is going to have a deep enough run in order to win it unless he's doing braces and hat tricks every game he plays. But I do think Mbappe's going to win it. And I think there's one character that we haven't mentioned yet who could contribute to this race later down the road. I think Lamine Yamal could contribute to this race if he actually begins to start for Spain and they actually get their rear ends in gear.
I agree. Lamine Yamal is way too good to not be doing it. He's much more of a dribbler and a pacey character. He much more loves to get inside and give others the assist and all that. But yes, Lamine Yamal could absolutely get into this discussion as well. However, I want to push back. I think Messi could win this if Argentina goes deep because if you saw him play last night, he has a fire in his eyes. He wants to prove people wrong about this Argentina team, and I think they smell blood in the water. So I would not be shocked if Messi just goes on a heater the next few games.
That would be so sick for his last World Cup to do that.
Wouldn't it be though?
Yes.
That would be kind of like the equivalent to Peyton Manning riding off in the sun after winning the Super Bowl kind of thing, you know?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of what it'd be like. That just creme de la creme and everything on there. All right, so John, let's talk about the Rising Stars watch. Give me your Rising Stars watch.
I want to talk about Jan Diomande of Ivory Coast. I mentioned him already. People, if you have not seen what Jan Diomande is, I encourage you to go check this guy out. This guy is a dribbler. He is pacey. He is fast. He can get by people in an instant. He can also shoot the ball. He can also cross it. This guy is multifaceted. He is the engine that makes Ivory Coast go. He is a player, and watching him, I had only heard of him a couple of times, and then watching him play against Ecuador, my word, I was very impressed because every time he got the ball, you heard the audible gasp in that stadium in Philadelphia. So if you hear a gasp every time a player just touches the ball, you know someone is good. It's that moment where you're like, oh, we've got to pay attention and watch him. So yeah, watch Jan Diomande of Ivory Coast. Um, like I also want to keep an eye on Iari as well from Sweden, just because of the inspirational story that was. Also, I kind of want to also shout out real quick the oh good night, the performance Jude Bellingham had today was fantastic. I could not describe in words how good Jude Bellingham was when he just was able to control on both sides of the pitch, defensively, offensively. He was influencing the play, helping England get good balls in. All of that. It was just wonderful to watch because he has not shown up on the world stage like that until now. And it's finally his time, I think. So just, England's going to always be in the spotlight, of course, but Jude Bellingham is always someone to watch.
What about you, Cole? Who do you see as the rising star potentials?
I mean, I don't know all of the players the same way John does, and
I know John can tell you like the back of his hand these players, and I love it.
He took Bellingham from me for sure. That was definitely one of the ones that was on my list, especially from today. But there was one guy in the Iran-New Zealand game. I don't know the dude's name, but every time that guy crossed the ball into the box, it was like a heat-seeking missile, John. I literally texted you that.
Yes.
I don't know the pro's name, but shout out to that guy because that dude is one of the best crossers I've ever seen for no good reason. That dude was awesome.
Yeah, he literally every time it was a pinpoint cross right onto someone's head. I was very
It was
impressed.
incredible.
So
Yeah.
let's switch it up to the third place tracker. I want to start with you, John. Give us your third place team qualifiers that you like the first. You know how they had the first four in and the first four out in NCAA basketball. Give us something like that for you.
Okay, so as of right now, our third place teams are Czechia, Qatar, Brazil, Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Senegal, Ecuador, and Turkey. I base those based on the order of who has draws, who has losses right now, because obviously we've all played only one game so far. So right now it's a bit murky, but right now the teams that are kind of on the edge and teams that might be close to getting eliminated or have to really be watching out in their second game are Turkey, Ecuador, and Senegal. Now, I think Senegal is going to be okay. They are a good enough team to go and win, and I think that first half against France showed you that. But Turkey needs to get their rear ends in gear. I should have mentioned them on stocks down because it was very disappointing considering the amount of talent that Turkey has. They were not able, on paper, it looks like a good team. But, Artur Güler, for example, he's 21 years old, plays for Real Madrid. He was the only good player on that Turkey team. It looked like he was actually wanting to do something. So I really think that Turkey could be in some trouble here. Ecuador, if they don't get their rear ends in gear, could be in trouble. And, I honestly, Portugal could be in trouble after today. If they don't get their rear ends in gear. So, yeah, right now,
Let's say Uzbekistan wins tonight. That puts Portugal down in third.
Right. Exactly.
That's a long way to crawl out of.
That's a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to crawl out of.
If Uzbekistan wins tonight, and I think they have a good shot too, they absolutely, the group is wide open enough that they could get a win and they would clinch knockouts. So, in one of their next two games. So, yeah, I mean, it's very possible, unless Portugal does something drastic, changes something drastically in the next couple of games, they could be in this third place list. And we're going to be talking about this more as the weeks go on here on this show. And it'll come more into focus the next couple of weeks. But right now, it's a rough estimate. But right now, those are your teams to keep an eye on. Czechia right now at the top of that group to me because they looked pretty impressive against South Korea. So
we're talking with our good friend Cole from the Flag on the Take, the Sports Talk show. My good friend John from the Pitch Grid is with me, and this is the World Cup Weekly Recap. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in live with us on 95.5 KFCE and the other 11 radio stations. All right, Cole, so give me your bubble teams.
So what was the list of, is it all the teams that are like actively in third place right now when I look at the standings?
Yes, right now.
Okay.
Let me give you that list again, Cole. It's Czechia, Qatar, Brazil, Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Senegal, Ecuador, and Turkey. And as of today, Portugal.
So, and how many of them advance?
8.
8. So I think Brazil will get through. I think they'll find a way to get through there. Let's see. Turkey, Turkey's a tough one. Ecuador, I don't see getting through. Netherlands will absolutely get through. Belgium, I think, will sneak in on the bubble. I think they'll get in. I think Senegal will sneak in because I know they technically lost to France, but like that first half was pretty impressive. Portugal,
if they get those chances.
Yeah, Portugal is quite literally the definition of a bubble team for me. I gotta see what they do next game for sure. Qatar, if some things break their way, I think they can slip in.
Yes, I agree. And they're in a group with, I believe, it's Canada and Bosnia. So, Canada should right now be the favorites to win that group, along with Switzerland.
I don't know. They couldn't beat Bosnia.
Well, okay. Let's be fair here to Bosnia. Bosnia is a decent team. They, unfortunately for them, thought they were playing Italy once again. And,
John's got jokes today.
And they're not. They were not. Canada was playing without Alphonso Davies and Bombito. If they can get Alphonso Davies and Bombito back, Canada is going to be a very scary team. Jesse Marsh had them playing lights out. It just felt like they massively dropped 2 points in that game. And if they can somehow recover and maybe get a win over Switzerland, they could probably win the group. But it's a group that's wide open right now, like you said. Qatar, if they could string a win together, they could also be right in the driver's seat of this group. So you never know, and that's the beauty of this. And the second games start tomorrow, so we're going to really know a lot more once in a few days what these groups are going to look like.
Apparently, your daughter John is also telling us the same thing. I love it. Ain't nothing wrong with kids. I have 4 of my own, so they always gotta get their voices heard. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next topic. It's the Forgotten Nations. As John has titled this, the Every Team Gets a Voice segment. Which smaller nation deserves attention? And I'm going to start with you on that, Cole. Which smaller nation deserves the attention?
Smaller nation, like in terms of how good they are, or in terms of like actual like size of country?
Density, population, size of nation, that kind of stuff.
Oh man, I'm about to be exposed as not a geography guy here. I mean, I think Haiti was really impressive.
Yes.
That game was incredible. I was texting John during that game, like, dude, how has Haiti not scored? Because it was like the 55th minute or 60th minute, and Haiti was just like, wait a minute, we are exponentially faster than Scotland, and they just started playing like it. I think they just ran out of time, but the dam was going to break eventually there.
Yeah.
Let me see what other countries I think played good enough to get shouted out. I mean, the layup, of course, Cape Verde, but we already went through that one as well. I didn't think Algeria was bad. I just think Leo Messi did some GOAT stuff in that game.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they were bad. And then, of course, I think the best 2-goal loss in this entire so far has been Senegal versus France. I think that's the best 2-goal loss. If you want to
can
word
call it
that
that,
way.
go.
Yeah.
Take it where you can take it, right?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good 2-goal loss for Senegal there.
What about you, John?
I want to go back to Ivory Coast again. This is a team that, yes, they have history in the World Cup, but Ivory Coast, like, a lot of people were having them as their sleeper, and I was very tempted to put them there as well. But man, looking at Diallo, Yon Diamande, if they can perform like they did against Ecuador, they are a scary enough team. They're really good at defense. They can really hit you on the counter. I mean, did you see the goal that they got against Ecuador? The guy, Singo, their right back, literally does a turn where he's like this and he pivots, and they're off. And like, they are running down that right wing, and he delivers a beautiful cross to Diallo, who slots it in. And honestly, if they can do smash and grabs like that, this is an Ivory Coast team that could really do their country really proud. I do want to say they lost 7-1, but Curacao, you cannot help but say they should be proud of themselves too.
They did score.
Yeah, no one expected them to score. Everyone thought they were going to get shut out. Everyone thought it was going to be a blow, and it was. But you still scored your first ever World Cup goal. You are the smallest nation to ever qualify. People are saying, oh, they don't deserve to be there. They deserve to be there. This is the format that, I think this format is showing to a lot of people that the smaller nations deserve to be there. Look at DR Congo. Look at, and we're going to get to them in a second, Curacao, Jordan from last night. I stayed up and watched that game till 2:30. And they were impressive against an Austria team that everyone thought was going to smack them down. This is a tournament that is really showing this format is actually proving that these teams can compete with the giants. And it's so impressive, and I love it. DR Congo, shout out to them. If they can somehow win a game in this group, they're going to go into the knockouts. I do believe that. This is a team that had ever scored a World Cup goal, and Yohan Wissa made history for them today. He is going to be remembered forever in that country. They are going to, they're probably partying in the streets right now still. And it's probably like, 4 a.m. there. So, yeah, I just really I was so impressed by DR Congo. They had so much fight, and they looked the better team. So, yeah, DR Congo is probably my biggest shout for the smaller nation, and as well as an honorable mention goes to Cape Verde as well. So,
oh, look at that, John using a Sportz Nutz term, honorable mentions. I love it. Hey, let's go to the next one. The matches of the week. Give me some matches of the week, Cole, that you are like you have your pen and pencil and you're circling right now.
Let me scroll through here. Scotland and Morocco, I feel like could be pretty solid. I won't take the easy bait and say USA and Australia. That's a pretty good one.
Why not? I'm just kidding.
I feel like John's gonna be pretty pumped for Germany and Ivory Coast in a few days. Let's see. Kind of scrolling through here to see if any stand out to me. Let's see. Norway and Senegal. That game is gonna be a fun watch. I did not know that game was on the docket. That'll be a very fun watch.
Yes. France and Norway in stage 3, that's going to be a blockbuster.
If Uzbekistan is as good as John thinks they are, Portugal and Uzbekistan next Tuesday will be pretty solid as well. So those will probably be the matches I would be looking forward to the most. But I'm going to watch all of them. If it's on and it's not the midnight game, I'm watching.
I don't know. Something tells me you'd watch the midnight game too, Cole.
Not if I have to go to work the next day. If I watched the one, I forget what it was, that was over the weekend. I did watch that one, but the one that was last night, I went to bed.
Yeah, that was Australia Turkey.
Yeah, that was a fun watch.
What about you, John? Which ones are you looking forward to?
I know Cole didn't take the debate, but Australia USA is going to be a group decider. Whoever wins that game is going to win the group. I do believe that. Because both of these teams had very impressive performances. I want to see us defeat a low block because that's what Australia is going to do. They are going to put everyone behind that ball and say, come defeat a low block. If we can defeat a low block, oh, man, you're going to hear me really saying some good things about the USA.
John would probably be the one to run around with his shirt off if it happens.
Tarps off, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, he'll start doing the what do they call them at the baseball games? They're twirling.
Tarps off. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. We're doing that. I'll join with you too on that, John.
Hey, I have Christian Pulisic as my profile picture right now for a reason.
Yeah. I want to also shout out. I didn't do it earlier, but Iraq put up a decent performance against Norway. They made it pretty nerve-wracking for a good 40 minutes against Norway before they finally scored their second goal. Their second goal, and before Norway just took off, and they really gave Norway some problems. So I was very impressed by them, but I want to see how Sweden does in their second game, because yes, they thumped Tunisia, but how are they going to do against the likes of the other teams in their group? Isak and Gyökeres, I want to remind people, they only played 3 matches total together in international appearances. These guys have not played together very long, and they looked like a well-oiled machine in that game. So if they can perform like that, Sweden might be surprising some people. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Sweden and their next matchup as well. Also, I want to see if Japan can back up their performance as well in their group. So
I remember and John did text me saying that this Japan matchup is something to behold. And I remember I distinctively remember you saying that it's something to watch. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to the next topic, which is the fan base polls. Look, we know that everybody. Again, I'm telling you guys now, you're living under a rock if you don't know what's going on with the fans. First off, my number one fan, and I'm going to go in the land of Scotland. And what they did.
You took mine.
And what they did at Fenway. Well, literally the whole town of Boston. And I remember watching the baseball game. This is how crazy it was. And they're still singing the song. And the announcer goes, This is something that you don't see very often, and they're I loved it, and they were like the whole time. And one of the questions the commentator asked is like, "Do they sleep?" And they're like, "I don't think they do because they." And then someone said, "What about if they sit down?" And they said they don't sit down the entire game. They stood up the entire time at Fenway, and people weren't throwing beers and yelling and fighting and punching telling them to sit down and shut up kind of stuff. They were really into it. And it's something that you don't see very often. I mean, this MLS games, there's something different about soccer in general. But like MLS though, the fans, they're more into it, more engaging, and they're loud and not overly obnoxious. They're genuine. That's what I like about that. And then you go to places like the NFL, you don't see a lot of it. I feel that people think that other professional sports, you got to be, prissy, sitting on like you're back in the olden times when you're learning to become a maiden of honor or something. I don't know, like something like that. That's what I feel like. And then there's nothing like there's no fun in it, and do the golf clap. That's what I kind of feel. But when you involve football, as they call it, fans, and like how engaging they are and electric they are, and they just gotta have fun. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They're enjoying what they're at. But definitely tip your caps, though, to the Scots. They are amazing. And someone made a joke and said, can the Scots come down to Houston Texans? I loved it. That was a good one. What about you, Cole? What is the fan? I know I saw yours, but what is the fans that you are also watching?
got a couple other ones. So the fans that I think are the happiest right now, number one, and we haven't mentioned this team at all, which is kind of surprising considering they're a host country. I think Mexico has got to be over the moon right now. They're in first place by goal differential, but they won that first game pretty convincingly. And I feel like for Mexico, this is a pretty decent draw. I mean, Korea's good and Czechia if they get it in gear, but like I feel like Mexico can win this group. I mean, their fans, they're hosting the World Cup. They have a really good shot to win this group, especially with already having 3 points and a +2 goal differential. I think Mexico and their fans got to be over the moon right now.
And plus, they have the duck. They have the wonderful duck that dresses up in a uniform and walks around, an actual duck.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? That was pretty cool. They said things you see in FIFA World Cup, and there's this duck wearing a jersey waddling down the street. And I'm like, yes, that was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, and Cole, on to your point, South Korea, Mexico is going to be blockbuster. I'm calling that probably is going to be also one of the matches of the week. My word, is that going to be good? And whoever wins that probably wins the group.
I'll be tuned in. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that match. You have no idea.
I'm gonna defer my last one to John because I think I almost stole his with my second one, so I'll let him go.
No, go ahead, man. Take it.
I was gonna say it's the team you've been talking about a lot this whole time, Cote d'Ivory. I think the Ivory Coast. I think their fans got to be over the moon. I mean, they picked up a win over Ecuador, who's no slouch. I mean, it was a 1-goal win, but a win's a win. They're tied for first place in the group. I mean, they're down on goal differential, but still. You really think Ivory Coast thought they were going to have a win at all in this group?
I think several people thought they were going to be their sleepers. And honestly, they were playing in a stadium in Philadelphia that was 98% Ecuadorian. I mean, if you were watching the game, you saw there were only 2 strips of rows that were Ivory Coast fans. The rest were Ecuadorian. They were playing in an almost entirely Ecuadorian stadium.
It was an away game.
Yeah, exactly. So to come into that pressure cooker and come out with that result, it's spectacular. I also want to shout out the Netherlands and Japan fans. Brandon has mentioned them before. The Netherlands fans were fantastic.
Top notch.
And Japan, them cleaning up after a match is a tradition like no other. I love it so much.
Sorry, Masters. We stole that term.
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, it helped the Japanese clean up after the match. And literally, I don't know if you guys saw this story. Someone said, "Oh, I didn't realize you were an NFL star." And it was just, aghast that an NFL star would be helping them clean up. It's just there's so many cool stories, so many cool fan traditions that these international fans have. Soccer just unifies people in a community way, like no other sport. And you see it at this World Cup. They're
putting aside all the bickering to have fun.
Yeah, and you've seen several times in these games. They've had shots where like a South African fan was in the middle of the Mexican section, and they were just having a great time, just dancing and having fun. Canada and Bosnia, it wasn't as great an atmosphere, but all these nations are coming together. They're having fun. They're enjoying it, and they can set aside the outside world for 90 plus minutes and just enjoy football. And I think that's something that a lot of Americans do not grasp when it comes to soccer, is that it comes down to community, and why community is so important and so special in soccer. And that's why we football fans love it, because it really is like no other in terms of bringing people together, bringing and shout out my own.
You bring nations together, really, you do.
Yeah, you literally are healing nations for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and international relations could easily be solved if you just have that kind of community. So I'm just so happy to see these kind of interactions. Also, USA fans are obviously over the moon. Let's be honest, all 3 of us are USA fans. So
guilty as charged, officer.
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth, Ossifer. I mean, yes, I love it. No, but you're right though, and this is what we love so much about sports too, John and Cole, is it unifies. You can have 1.5 trillion other things going on in the outside world, but you have sports, and I mean, for what, 90 minutes playing time, you're sitting next to your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, and everybody else in between is all around you. You're one, and that's what sports makes the difference. And people don't realize that. You may have a lot of indifference going on out there, but you're still in the grand scheme of things. This is a game. This game is making you smile, making your friends smile, and
Mhm.
it's just it's so enriching to experience that. Let's go to this next one because we're coming close on time. Give us your best goal of the week, and I'm gonna start with you, John. Give us your best goal of the week.
Oh, there were so many good ones. Oh man, it was hard to pick, but the thunderclap strike by Egypt's Ashore against Belgium. My word, that was a bullet. And he's coming it's about 30 yards out. He's just making a run, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna let it loose, and it's just top bins in the top corner, and it stunned the Belgians. It really did. I don't think they were expecting it. None of us were expecting it. But man, what a bullet of a goal! I will also shout out Gio Reyna's Trivela once again, because my word, hitting that with the outside of your foot. Oh my word!
That was
That's
one
a
of the best
special
shots I've
technique.
ever seen.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have to say Ashore's goal versus Belgium is definitely up there for we've seen a lot of these though, thunderclaps in the World Cup so far. But yeah, I'd have to go with that one. What about you guys?
What about you, Cole? What is the best goal
Uh,
you'd say?
So I would say that my goal of the week has got to be, I can't remember if it was his first or his second one. It's got to be Mbappe's absolute howitzer from the parking lot that he scored on. I can't remember if it was his first goal or his second goal, but he was just like, you know what? He's just going to uncork and, to use a hockey term, a clap bomb from about a really long distance away. I don't know yardage just by looking at it with soccer, but that thing was shot from the parking lot, and it was incredible.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good shout. I like
Absolutely.
that one.
What about, excuse me, what is the biggest letdown that you've had this week so far?
Spain.
Ah, dang it.
John, like he was ready to, he had that loaded, ready to go. I love it.
Easy answer for sure.
Again, I could pull up my tactics board. I really could, and just ran
all night.
And there's actually one of them on there that says tactical board. So I love it. I love it. What about you, Cole?
I literally could just rant about how they did not create a single thing and were just standing still. I have no words for how they were not offensively creative when they have so much talent in that squad on paper. There's no excuse for that.
Oh yeah,
if I pick Spain and Brazil, I'm gonna go with Turkey. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I thought Turkey could beat Australia, and they were the ones receiving beating. So I'm gonna say Turkey kind of let down there. I thought for sure that they were gonna at least draw with Australia, and that we were gonna have to handle business against them.
Well, here's the thing with Australia. They always disappoint you in qualifying. They always look like they're a wounded animal. Then they come to the World Cup, and they become the absolute beast. They transform into a wolf out of nowhere because they somehow, the last few World Cups, have made some games out of things that we would not have expected. And yeah, Australia is a team you cannot sleep on. I've learned in the World Cup. So yeah, I knew when everyone started sleeping on Australia, I knew they were going to do something special, and they showed it.
You were right, bro.
Those Aussies that do it, those Aussies know how to. They know how to hide it well. That's just they know how to hide everything well, and I love it. So let's go ahead and let's look ahead for the matches of this coming week. Why should people watch the matches ahead? Start with you, John.
Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on very important matches that could determine the entire group, maybe entire tournament, and what happens in the knockouts. Let's not forget, in this format, you are having all the first and second place teams go through automatically. You get 8 third place teams coming through into the knockouts. First place teams will play third place teams, and second place teams usually will play second. But it depends on draws and all of that. But so if you want to get through automatically, you're going to want to get in those top 2 spots. and you don't want to be sweating out the um,
Sorry.
third place team race, because I think it's going to be brutal and very close. And honestly, I think that's something we have to be watching out for, because these third place teams are going to be, and you could have some big names in here, like we've mentioned already, that will be sitting around like having their fate depending on maybe goal difference, maybe even yellow card accumulation. You don't know. I hope it's not, because sportsmanship, going down to sportsmanship rules, is very, very harsh. But at the same time, like it's kind of a way to do a tiebreaker. So, it is what it is. And yeah, if you do not watch these matches, you're going to be very confused come game week, come the round 3 of the group stage.
Cole, what is at stake for people in this next round?
What, for the viewer or for the
Yes,
teams?
viewers.
For the viewers, I mean, it's the same thing like John was saying. Like, you're going to be very confused when it's time for the third round of games. But also, people, we get this once every 4 years. Why would you not soak it up? Why would you not enjoy it? I mean, it is the biggest display of passion. It's literally called the world's game. And it's when all of the fans and players are at their most passionate. It's like watching playoff hockey. You love playoff hockey, talk about how passionate and awesome that is. That's pretty much what the World Cup is. So it only comes around once every 4 years. People go nuts for the Olympics. You should treat this like the Olympics and watch as much of it as humanly possible. Because once it's done, you got to wait another 4 years. So,
and can I mention also, you might not see Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo ever in a World Cup again. Think about that.
That's just the
let
name a couple.
Let that sink in there for a second. There's a high probability you're never going to see the likes of those greats. And my nephew is a diehard Lionel Messi fan. I told you that too, John. That Jackson has all the Lionel Messi gear imaginable, and I commend Jessica for spending all the money that she spends on some of that merchandise. You guys know merchandise ain't cheap. So let's look at the predictions for the next few games. Give us the biggest winner for next week, John.
I'm gonna say right now that if Uzbekistan wins tonight, they might win the group. I know that might be a bit shocking, but I think they have a good chance to do it. I've already mentioned South Korea, Mexico. I think that South Korea is going to be in a very good place. I think if they win, or Mexico, either of those teams, they could be a dark horse as well and watch out for. I also want to say that Netherlands, Japan might have decided their group in a weird way, because now they have to go win at least a game, because they drew each other on Sunday. So, and these are two very good teams, and you saw it in that game. I just think, I don't know. I had Japan winning this group. I think they're still going to win it, but it's going to be closer than I thought it would have been.
Who do you think is the biggest losers that are coming this week, Cole?
Oh, the biggest losers. I think out of this week or out of next week?
The coming week.
Out of next week, I think we're going to be talking a lot about Portugal being a loser. Let's see. I think we're going to talk about Turkey continuing to lose. I think also I don't love this, but I do think we might end up talking about Scotland being a loser. I'm really scared they're going to drop both games against Brazil and Morocco.
Yeah, I after that performance against Haiti, I do not have a lot of hope that they can match up well with Morocco and their speed and their pace. Morocco has a lot more clinical shooters as well. So yeah, I do not have a ton of hope after that performance against Haiti.
I'm scared for the Scottish that they're going to be talked about as a loser next week.
After all they've done too for everything going on with America.
I know. Believe me, I didn't love it, but
that's just how the golden goose lays its egg. All right, give me your bold predictions for next week, John.
I think I already said it. I think Uzbekistan is going to win the group if they win tonight. Because them and DR Congo, I think, are probably going to, if Uzbekistan wins, are going to really have a step up on the competition because already DR Congo will have played Portugal, has already played Portugal, and they got a point from that. So, they have to play Uzbekistan and Colombia still in that group. But honestly, I think if both of those teams can take advantage of their other games, we might be seeing a group that we were not expecting, and I kind of love it. Also, I think Ivory Coast is going to keep winning as well. And I think we might see, I don't know. I want to
There's
say,
so many to choose from. I know.
I know.
I got mine queued
but
up.
I would not be shocked also. I would not be shocked, Brandon, if Switzerland does not win the group.
Wow. That's a bold prediction. That's a real bold prediction.
I would not be shocked.
That's a good one. I like that.
Because
it took me took my breath and took Cole's. We were both like, whoa.
if they can play that way against Qatar, I just do not have a lot of hope that they're going to rebound and react quick enough to regroup and win this group. Because if I'm remember, they're all on 1 point, so it's anybody's group. But I just can't see it if they keep performing like they did against Qatar.
Give me your bold predictions, Cole.
My bold prediction is that it's going to be brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue, baby. USA bring the smackdown, lay the boom on Australia. I don't know if it's going to be 4-1. It might be more like 4-2, 3-1. Like it might be a slightly closer game, but I think USA is going to keep the pedal to the metal and is going to set the world on fire with 2 convincing wins out of the first 2 games of the group.
Watch them win like 5-1 now, just because you said that. we would literally fall out of our socks right there. That'd be
I would
fantastic.
become unbearable.
I can tell you now, Cole and John and myself and everybody else included, we'd all be hoarse for the rest of the entire World Cup because we'd been screaming our lungs off with like we did it. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So here is this. Now comes as guys know, all good things must unfortunately come to an end for the week. What is the one thing you'll be watching before? Excuse me. What is the one thing you'll be watching before we meet up again next week? Cole.
The World Cup. Just kidding. No, I will be watching though every single game that I possibly can, but I'm gonna keep watching for I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too with this one. To see if the underdog train continues of all the underdogs stealing points from these big guys, but also if the sleeping giants wake up, or if they're gonna work themselves into a shoot. That's a wrestling term, but if they're gonna work themselves into a shoot and they're gonna keep slumping, and next thing you know, they're on the brink of elimination as one of like the big giants in the tournament. So I'm gonna keep eyes on both of those things. Can the underdogs continue to underdog? And will the sleeping giants, like after the first round slap in the face, will they wake up or will they continue to slump?
What about you, John?
I want to see a very interesting stat has emerged in this game, in this World Cup. MLS players have scored 4 goals in this tournament. Guess who has not scored a goal? What league hasn't scored a goal in this tournament? MLS has scored 4 goals in this tournament so far, 3 of them courtesy of Lionel Messi. But that's a lot more than I think people would have thought MLS players would score in this tournament. Also, I want to see if Europe. I'm going to be watching how well Europe does, because we've only seen them take a total of 15 points, 16 points actually, in their matchups this week. A total of 16 points out of 10 games. That's not a lot. That's almost 50% of the points dropped. So
that's crazy.
It ain't good.
Yeah.
In South America, they I believe it was 7 in 3 games. So it's going to be 7 points in 3 games. So yeah, Africa and North America have been showing out. I just want to see if that trend continues or not. Because it's a very interesting trend, and like Cole said, there's a lot of underdogs, and I want to see if this keeps up and what this new format brings to the table.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing what America can do against Australia. Get that, look, ain't nothing wrong with the Aussies. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. No, but
Oi, oi, oi.
we're gonna cheer on America thick and through. Oh, man, y'all, this was an absolute blast. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Just
And
a
look-
reminder, by the way, before we get out of here. I just
was
want
it
to remind everybody.
soccer?
Just want
I
to
love
remind
it.
everybody. That's good. That's my profile picture until we're knocked out of the World Cup.
I love it. This was such a fun episode. Cole, I always have a blast having you. John, I mean, bro, I can't tell you how much I was beyond excited. I'm like, dude, I'm getting to do stuff with John, and my girl's like, Daddy, who do you get come on your show tonight? I'm like, I don't have a show. I'm like, oh wait, yes I do. Because I'm not used to, we used to be the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we went back to Tuesday and Fridays. But I mean, I had an absolute blast with you, John. I'm excited for this train. I want to let everybody know also what is on tap for the coming weeks for the Sportz Nutz in general. We will be back with you next Wednesday. It'll be episode number 2 of the FIFA World Cup series. You'll see us again here. Always have a lot of fun. We had a lot of good engagement tonight. I really appreciate that one. But then also we will be myself, me, Matt, and Shane. We will not have Ben next week. Ben the rest of this week because Ben is actually in New Mexico doing a mission trip with his congregation, so you won't see him. But tomorrow, Friday, we have the assistant athletic director, Danny Kimball of Spartanburg Methodist College, will be joining the show to talk. And then we are still in line for these are some really good topics. We're talking about the Women's College World Series, how many views it racked up, and it's going to knock your socks off. The WNBA is expanding, but it's not what you think. We'll talk about that tomorrow. On Friday. I keep saying tomorrow for some reason. And then the UFL made a list of potential new destinations that they're considering expanding to. You're going to be surprised. There's a couple, actually 3 cities on there that they're going to, you're going to kind of hope so. And then, was this the most watched NBA Finals? We'll talk about that one and a whole lot more. And of course, we have our favorite segment, the honorable mentions. So with
Brandon,
that
I want to
real quick. Go ahead,
folks. I want to mention this World Cup beat out the entire NBA Finals viewership.
Yep,
That doesn't surprise me at all.
This is the most watched NBA Finals since '98, and this World Cup has knocked the socks off.
It's because it's the world's game.
I think the Nielsen numbers say 87 million worldwide is what they're saying. It's like 87 to 100 million worldwide. It's the Nielsen numbers, they measure everything. So it's
just had to shout that out for those who say that America doesn't watch soccer. So
turn your TV on and watch it. You're gonna miss out on some amazing, talented athletes. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight, everybody who listened live on 95.5 KFCE, TigerNation.live, and the other 11 radio stations we air on, and our international audience, thank you guys seriously, whole so much. Cole, give us your final goodbyes, please, sir.
Oh, man, grateful to be here. I had an absolute blast. Like I said, the first guest of this series, you can never take that away from me. But in all seriousness, it's always fun to chop it up with you boys. I know we always text a lot, but it's always cool, too, when we get to meet up like this and actually talk about it. So appreciate y'all so much. If you want me, I'll be there whenever you want. Go follow me, Flag on the Take. I've been commenting, so you just go ahead and click the channel, hit the subscribe. Genuinely appreciate y'all so much, and go USA, baby.
That's right.
Just
John, give your final goodbyes, please, sir.
Folks, Brandon, thank you so much for doing this series with me, man. Like, I greatly appreciated the opportunity to cover such an amazing tournament as the World Cup with my buddies is a dream come true, honestly. So, doing
the honor's all mine, actually. I get to talk with you guys, man. I really do. That's amazing.
And I love it. And I love, talking about community, talking about sports and why they matter. So, guys, have a good rest of your week. Please enjoy this World Cup because we're not going to get it for another 4 years. Enjoy it. Enjoy your family, and make sure that, you stay sharp because Pitch Grid has a lot of World Cup coverage as well. So you're not going to miss a beat if you tune in and subscribe with us. So
absolutely. And as I got to On you here, Toga, as I always say, peace up, A-Town down. Why it's the greatest sports city that ever was. Hey, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Remember, the Sportz Nuts are back with you on Friday. You'll see myself, Matt, and Shane. Until then, you guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy this great outro. Until then, goodbye.